Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. Thank you for watching. You're watching the VSO Gun Channel, and today is going to be a little bit different because first of all, this video is coming out early because we have something to do at 10 o'clock. Today we're going to be covering in live stream format the oral arguments of the Cargill case at the Supreme Court. And this is the whole bump stock argument case. They are having oral arguments today, and I wanted to bring that to you guys live, so that will be available here around 10 a.m. Eastern time. So I'll be live streaming that. You can find it on the main channel for live stream under the live stream tab. And I wanted to briefly talk about why this case is so important. I started using XS back in my early 20s, you know, like when I could actually see. I used them for the first time in a force-on-force class, and up to that point, to be completely honest, I really didn't get it. From that experience, I can definitively tell you that XS's big dot sight is the best sight for when you're shooting like this. Of course, they make regular sight profiles too, but the consistent attributes are a bright tritium vial surrounded by a photoluminescent insert that charges up with exposure to any light source. They also do everything from shotgun beads to AK post sights, ensuring that XS has a solution when you need the brightest sights in any light. Bump stocks are dumb. They are. But just because something is dumb doesn't mean that it should be illegal. And because they have picked something that is relatively ignorant when it comes to a product, there is this hesitance on our side of the aisle, if you will, to defend bump stocks because they are kind of silly. However, just because it is a range toy does not mean that we should cede the ground. And what has happened here is the Trump administration put out a blanket executive ban on bump stocks. And that has then been used by the ATF and other executive agencies to redefine things that Congress has passed as a means to an end to affect the regulations that they can't pass through Congress. So the whole argument when it comes to the Cargill case is, can an executive agency just willy-nilly rewrite regulation because it thinks that it's within the spirit of the law without being within the letter of the law? And that is this whole thing. Now, based on the current precedent, which is like the EPA cases and things like that, it is my opinion that they're going to lose and lose big, because if you look at anybody else who's covering this, they have a really hard time with even the language. I'm not going to name any names, but they all dance around the, oh, it's like a machine gun, not it is a machine gun. It's a machine gun-like part. No. The problem is they have to skirt away from the technical aspects, which technically, if you look at the function of a bump stock, it is not a machine gun. It does not meet the definition of a machine gun, but they're trying to use the parts-like thing that affects a fire rate. There is no defined fire rate in the National Firearms Act or the 86 ban or any of that sort of stuff. And it all comes down to a feeling on a thing. And that is a very dangerous place to be when we're talking about particularly criminal law. And that's the whole heart of this case. So the question I have is, will they go with the dangerous, unusual aspect of things? Because I think that it could be reasonably argued, if we're intellectually honest, that it is unusual, not necessarily by the numbers, because if they go with just the numbers, no, it was not unusual. There were a lot of them. There were millions of them. That is not unusual. But it is unusual in its operation, in that traditionally when you fire a gun, you squeeze the trigger. And in this instance, or I suppose you could say there's some other kind of mechanical operation with a single hand, usually. When it comes to firing the bump stock weapon, it is an unusual sequence of events. So I could see perhaps there being an argument for unusual in that sense. However, when it comes to dangerous, well, I would have to look and see if there are any instances of people accidentally being injured by the operation of a bump stock, because that would be inherently dangerous. So I'm interested to see where these oral arguments go today. Again, you can find them over on the channel under the live stream section, and hopefully we'll see you guys today at 10.